Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Server Room, the enterprise IT podcast of ManageEngine. And in today's digital battlefield, there's a lot that goes on between who has access to what files, when they can access it, and for what they need to access it. So, if you're interested in cybersecurity and all of these privileges, AI, and how everything just falls together into place in this whole new field of cybersecurity that's coming along, you're definitely going to enjoy this episode with Ramanathan K, who is the head of PAM Suite of Products and ManageEngine. Welcome to the episode, Ram.
Thanks, Nandini. Thanks for having me in this session.
Thank you. So it was a lot of questions I had about passwords, cybersecurity. I recently attended JISEC as well. So there were a lot of questions in Middle East about how they can better their whole layer of passwords and basically protect their organization from cyber attacks, ransomware, and what is it that a small change can actually cascade into a bigger and a better secure organization for them. So that's a lot of questions I got answered there as well. And I just wanted to know how you came to be part of PAM and when you joined and basically your whole journey.
Okay. Okay, I joined in maybe now it is Zogocar, but at that time it was AdvanNet.
Right. Yeah.
So I joined in 2003 as a engineer trainee.
Okay.
So at the time I worked for a different product like Console Builder, JMX Studio.
Okay.
Then only the Manage Engine, they have started the Manage Engine division.
Right.
And initially, I worked in a product called Scanfy, which is now Vulnerability Manager Plus.
Oh,
So
okay.
then Rajesh envisioned like we will build a small password vault. So I moved to password vault.
Okay.
By the time I'm still from that product itself, now it is a full blown PAM suite.
Right. So how was that journey?
Yeah,
Like, I
it's
think
very exciting.
correct.
So
Yeah.
from the start itself, so initially we started as a password wall, it just to store the passwords.
Okay.
Now it has grown up into a full-blown PAM suite with all modules like privilege elevation module, privilege delegation, privilege session management, and like PTDA, PTA, ITDR.
Oh, what is all of that?
So it's privilege elevation and delegation management and
Okay.
detection and response, threat
Okay.
detection and response,
Yeah.
task automation modules.
Okay, okay. So we actually had Sarvanan, the CIO of Zoho
Okay.
Corp, on our one of our previous episodes, and he was talking about how initially they used to store all passwords in sheets, and then slowly they migrated to like a very small, lightweight vault that was internally built. So is that the one you
Yeah,
built?
exactly.
Perfect.
So
Yeah.
initially it was a sheet. Actually, even before the sheet, the passwords will be stored in a email, and whenever the system administrator team change the password, they will just send the new password in an email to all the team people. Then they will create a sheet and share the password in the sheet, and the sheet will be sent it to all the members across via email.
Oh, okay.
Then we started building a common tool which will be accessed across employees in a centralized manner.
Right.
So that no need to update the sheet every now and then.
Okay, okay. So that's how it
So
all
that's how it
started.
started. Yeah.
So was it like a thing where password vaults were present, or did it just start because we were facing this issue?
Yeah, there are some password managers are there, but so we started for our internal use. Then we will just promoting this, and people. So we see that every other IT team is facing the same problem. So it was a very instant hit when we put it in the market.
Right, that's nice. That's really good. So it started off from India, or was it?
Yes.
Okay, okay, perfect. So this was which year?
This was in 2000. So our first release was in 2007.
Oh, wow, that's actually quite early, right?
Yes.
Quite early because I think technology was not
Yes.
that looked up to at that time. But yeah, that's quite a great achievement. And cut to 2025, and
Yeah.
we have a full suite of
Yes.
products. That's great. That's great. So, can you just tell me what PAM really is. Like, what is this suite of solutions that we talk about? And how important is it for any organization to really have it inbuilt in their infrastructure?
Yeah, it's very important to have a PAM solution for any organizations because that's where the privilege identities reside, and that's a very crown jewel of the organizations where attacker want to get those details. So first you need to discover all your privilege accounts. So you need to identify what are all the privilege accounts in your organization. Then only you come to know who has the access to what privilege access. So first you need to discover all the privilege accounts and you need to share the privilege accounts to specific users. So maybe today DB administrator will have access to Windows administrator accounts as well as network administrator accounts. You need to have the segregation of duties. Only DB administrators will have only access to DB accounts, and Windows administrator will have access only to Windows. This kind of segregations you need to do in every organization. You need to do the least privilege access as well.
Okay, okay. So least privilege is basically not being able to access most important files.
See, whatever access, say for example, say some developer will come and ask for a privilege to access a database. You just need read-only access alone. You don't need to give write access or delete access for that table.
Correct, correct.
So you need to ask which privilege they want and provide the just enough privileges. Not because of his administrator, you don't need to provide a full privilege administrator.
Right, right, right.
That's the principle we need to follow. So this way you can reduce the attack surface.
Makes sense. Yeah. So you mentioned about privileges. So what kind of privileges are actually there, and how important is it for like employees to have different kind of privileges?
Yeah. See, recently, so we have a concept like zero standing privileges. So where so you don't need to have any privilege at all at any point of time. So whenever you want to access any critical resource, at that time you can raise a request to our administrator. You can authorize to a specific set of time period. Say, for example, you want to work in a server for 30 minutes to 8 hours, you can raise a request. And what are all the privileges you require? I want to modify a file, I want to delete a file, I want to copy a file. You can list the privileges and provide only the set of privileges, not the entire administrative privilege during the time period also. So this way you can achieve the zero standing privileges as well as just in time privilege.
Okay.
So
Okay.
not like 8 hours or 12 hours. By default privilege, there will not be any privilege for any administrators, even though he is administrator of that critical resource. So whenever it is required, you can give the specific privilege at the time.
Okay.
So this way you can mostly reduce the attack surface of any privileges. So during the non-office hours, so there won't be any privilege. During the even in the office hours, if the administrator is not going to work on the critical service, so the account will not have any privilege.
Okay. Okay. So is this device specific or is it account specific?
Yeah, we can configure anyway. See, any PAM solutions provide both the options. So device specific permissions also we can have options, and you can also have provide account specific options. You can also multiple ways. Like say for example, nowadays in any IT administrators, people are having two accounts. One is for personal use, personal in the sense enterprise account. Say for example, I am a IT admin. I can log in my laptop. I have one Active Directory account, and I want to access to a server. I can have another account. Say for example, ram.admin. So I can use this account to log into the specific accounts.
Yes.
So this way, IT team will have two accounts per person. So we need to eliminate this, and we can create one shared account,
Okay.
which can be shared across multiple people. Or you can have completely remove the admin account and use the named account or the personal identity, which can be elevated during the time of accessing the server. This way, you can reduce the privilege accounts. So the ideal goal is you need to reduce the privilege accounts,
Correct. Yeah.
and you need to give access only during the time of accessing the critical resource, only whatever you are doing in the target machine. So this is just in time as well as the zero standing privileges.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense because I remember requesting for specific access to specific things because I was a developer before.
Okay.
So looking at the database, going through it, whether what code I'm writing is the correct one, is it getting reflected? So yes, I know the process.
Yeah, that's think about something interesting. So as you mentioned, is a developer. So there are a lot of hard-coded credentials residing in the repositories, tokens.
Correct, correct.
So those are one time, which is high privilege. So if that repository is breached, or maybe you can also heard about recent this supply chain attacks,
Correct.
where it is using this hard-coded credentials or privilege which is residing in the repositories.
Mhm.
So it is easy to push a malicious code inside a build system itself.
Correct.
So this way it automatically published to all across all customers also. So it will have a multiple ripple effect. So these are also some of the PAM capabilities, or any PAM solution should automatically discover these hard-coded credentials, and you can have a just-in-time elevation during the CI/CD pipeline or the developers who are pushing the code.
Right, right, right. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, tokens I think play a huge role
Exactly.
in at
Yes.
least a code
Yes.
base. Yeah,
Yes.
because I remember GitLab, we used to use
Yes.
GitLab. So you can have you can see the token only once, and if you close the tab, it's gone forever. Yeah, I remember doing all of that. Okay, so I also like read a lot about Gartner quadrants and how important they are, and I think our solution is also part of it. So, how important is it for any solution out there in the PAM suite to be part of these analyst quadrants?
Yeah, definitely. These are very, very important to be part of these quadrants. It's not about Gartner, any analyst even, because they validated they go for vendors or they go for customers, and they studied their use cases, and they also have some set of questionnaires, and they set of use cases and validated against the vendor products and solutions, whether these are the use cases are captured, these are possible to solve the problems,
Yeah.
and it's very valid actually. So whenever it will give more credibility.
Yeah. So
So
if
it's
I'm
something similar to your NCAP rating or something.
correct,
So if a car is a 5-star rating,
you
something
go,
like that, you instantly get the credibility.
of course, of course. Yeah, there's some third party that's actually
Exactly.
evaluating
Yes.
products.
Yes.
So there's no bias. And
Correct.
yeah, makes
So
sense.
and enterprise also just go with whatever the analyst firm says that, because they are also thoroughly validating, this analyst also thoroughly validating across various enterprise vendors. You can get to have this much vendor, so what are the cases. It is difficult for a company to go on each and every client and validate those use cases.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like a collected database
Exactly.
of
Yes.
how good a solution is. Yeah. Okay. Done. So AI has played a huge role in every product out there. So how does this affect the identities that we use in an organization?
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah,
like
definitely
yeah,
AI will have an impact in identity security both.
right.
So down the line, say for example, any attack surface, this ransomware, there are possible ways where attackers are started using AI.
Yeah.
So that is one part. Like we need to be innovatively approach those problems. So recent survey that phishing attack is more by doing manually than the AI. So AI will generate a phishing email. AI will generate payloads for attacks. Those kind of things. That is one thing. And the positive part, you can make use of AI to like say access governance, or you can have a least privilege policy generation. So you can use AI to get a least privilege instead of automatically giving least privilege, just in time privilege. Those things will happen. Once this is happening, the human identity will get reduced, and only machine identities or non-human identities will be on the rise. So there won't be any human need to go to a server, take a remote access and do the work. It will be automatically done by a AI agent.
Okay,
So
okay.
if every other privilege actions will be automated and can be done by a AI agent, there won't be much of human identity required. But there will be a more number of non-human identities will be there. So already a recent survey suggested that one human identity will have on an average 50 non-human identities. So now you can also see that you can have any more number of AI keys for like OpenAI or Claude, or there are a lot of AI tools, right? So every AI tool has, you need to have one key. So if you are using 5 to 10 different AI solutions for your uh, work itself, so you can have 5 different keys. So you are, so this way, this access of these AI tools will, we need to take care of via this privilege access management. You need to provide governance, you need to provide monitoring and expiry and list privilege for the AI tools. Say, for example, if CA is a CEO is accessing a fine-tuned model, so it has to reply with sales data. But even the employees ask for this, it should restrict it. So there should be some guardrails, there should be some authorization, there should be some access, privilege access. These AI agents will, this in this area, the PAM will evolve.
Nice. So, how do you think it'll scale to handle so many identities? Because if right now we have, let's say, five per user, in the next, probably, I would just say 1 year, because I'm sure it'll be lesser than that. But in the next 1 year itself, it will probably increase to 50, as you mentioned about the
Yeah,
keys.
yeah, definitely there will be a consolidation will happen. See, there will be a number of AI tools will be there, but down the line it will be consolidated into a verticals or into some specific niche use cases. So wherever you have some, say for example, any market or anything, so once it is go to the peak, then it will automatically go for a consolidation mode, where it will be consolidated in whatever which is working practical, will have the solutions will be used by all other organizations. This way, even though if the AI agents or AI tokens or whatever in the exploding, after some point of time it will just come to a stable situation.
Okay, okay, done. So, you have seen the evolution of PAM and how it is accepted in the market. So, right now, um, what is the landscape that you look at for PAM basically throughout globally and in particular to Middle East and Africa?
Okay. So, so globally, PAM is growing very much, and in particular to Middle East and Africa, it's also growing very positively. And the people in Middle East and Africa, they know the need of PAM, and in government also they have a certain compliance like NESA, so where they talk about the least privilege, access control, and more industries like oil, gas, or this real estate, tourism. So the digital transformation is happening rapidly in the Middle East and Africa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So
could see that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you need to like safeguard your privilege accounts, right? Every other organization in Middle East and Africa is safeguard their and in the recent JISEC report, there is a state that the 600 and 800% growth in cyber attacks.
Yeah, yeah.
So like specifically ransomware and data breach.
Mhm.
So every other organizations are keen to implement this cyber security solutions, and especially PAM solutions, which could arrest this ransomware, data breach. Basically, the ransomware will be a phishing attack, and it will be installed. The exe ransomware exe will be installed in a endpoint or traversed locally to a server. So these will be arrested by a PAM solutions because it's already only elevated privilege. The ransomware will not be allowed to execute in the endpoint.
Yeah.
Since PAM is implemented, only allowed applications, authorized applications will be installed and allowed.
Okay,
So this way
okay.
you can protect. So I won't say only PAM alone can arrest the ransomware, these data breach. So you need to implement multiple solutions like endpoint management, SIM solutions, and most importantly the awareness for the employees.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So even if every other solution is implemented, so there is a legitimate way to access the remote server. So the employee can unknowingly just implant a ransomware in the server. So employee education is also an important one.
Yeah, so we were talking about user awareness about cybersecurity in general. I was talking to Santosh from UEMS.
Okay.
So he was telling a very interesting fact about how a company was rating every employee based on their behavior.
Okay.
So they'd look at their behavior, monitor it for like a period of time, and then rate, I mean, give them a score basically. And if your score is, let's say, lesser than probably 5 or 7, you won't be able to access a few files.
Exactly.
So I think that's where you can
So it,
probably.
it, it can also inbuilt in across tools actually. AI is also there, camera is there, your typing is captured, so your mood is everything is analyzed. So it will automatically generate policies.
Mm, yeah, user specific.
Yes.
Wow. I don't know how the future is going to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like all
So
of
it's
these.
just now tools. We have tools like, say, for example, if we are accessing from an airport, it automatically reject access. If we are accessing from your location, it will automatically provide higher privileges. It's automatically do based on the location, office hours, your IP address. Everything will be already done. And another part is you can also correlate with your social interactions, social media, and the sentiment analysis of the your requests, reasons, everything. So if your mood is not like you are not, you're sad or you're sad, it will automatically restrict your access.
Yeah, the location thing, I actually experienced it myself because I was trying to connect my phone to the local network here, and it could not because I think the location was something
Okay.
else. So it just did not connect to the Wi Fi at all. So I was in a fix. I didn't know what to do. And then finally, the IT helped me out. Yeah. Yeah. So that's when I actually realized that, all of this is correlated and all of it is correlated to your account and your privileges as well.
Exactly. So because these attacks are happening something like that. So the social engineering attackers are even every other cybersecurity solutions is in place. Attackers are able to mitigate those things and try to access to the critical resource by some way doing some attack with the people.
Yeah, yeah. So talking about attacks in general, how do you think the threat landscape has changed uh, since the last 5 years, probably? Like, let's say before AI and after AI. How do you think it's
Yeah,
affected?
definitely changing. So AI is helping both ways, both to detect, remediate, both for attackers as well. So AI is like attackers also using AI. Threat and remediations is also using AI. So we need to be vigilant and we need to keep evolving to mitigate those attacks.
Okay, okay. So if let's say there's an organization, is there any like real world scenario you can walk us through where if let's say an organization has a data breach or if it is under attack, how is it that PAM can, fit in as a line of defense?
Yeah. So maybe you can take it as a ransomware case. Like say, for example, if ransomware is like say in recent in Middle East and Africa, there are surge of ransomware attacks, like 800 plus increase in the last 5 years. Maybe say, for example, phishing is the one of the way to implant the ransomware. So it's basically a program which will encrypt the data and it won't have the key to decrypt the data, sensitive data. So first you need to run the exe. You need to have a privilege to implement the execute the exe. Say for example, the user click the phishing link, it will automatically download the exe into the system, and just it will execute the uh, uh, malicious exe, and it will try to laterally transfer to other servers as well across the network,
Okay.
and try to find multiple servers and multiple encryptions.
Right, right.
So this is way this will occur across. So you need to have tools to find first. So what are all the exes installed? You need to have what are all the sensitive data, decrypt, encrypt. So you need to have monitorings, those things. So if it is a PAM is installed or the endpoint management is installed, the first the whenever the user or the employee download the exe from the phishing link, it will not be allowed to execute inside. So already this allow listing apps are in place for the policy. This endpoint will have a list of applications only allowed to execute.
Okay.
So the ransomware exe will not be in the allowed list, even if it is spoofed. So it will be allowed only. There will be a alert. What are the list of applications running? There is a monitoring. There is a threat detection. And even if it is moved from one server to other server, if it is a server, then there is a it is not possible to move because it's only via PAM as well. So any sensitive server can be accessed only via PAM. So those kind of setups, it's in a way you can restrict your attack surface.
Okay, okay. So, in this case, is the executable file a non-human identity or no?
So it is just a executable file. So whenever you download the file, it will execute in your privilege. So for that's where we are suggesting that every other user has to have at least privilege. So the user has to have only privileges which are allowed to execute the allowed applications, not the other applications. But by default, every other employee or every other IT admin will have the administrative privilege, even though they are not using or not. So any IT admin will have the full access privilege.
Right, right. Okay. So we've
So
talked.
that's the zero standing privilege and least privilege and just in time privilege will
Correct.
come
Yeah,
in
yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We've talked about it, yes. So, talking about mindsets in general, like we've talked about products and technology, but now coming to the human side of how humans actually want to implement PAM, do you think there's a difference between each specific region globally, how they want to adopt PAM, what are the measures they take, and like how is it different like geographically?
So mostly it won't be a big difference geographically, but the people are hesitant to implement PAM usually because they have enough powers. Now the PAM, once the PAM will comes in place, their powers will be limited. So whenever they access, they need to come to the PAM solution and they need to raise a request in order to log into a server. Earlier they have a full privilege. They can have the password themselves. They don't have any accountability. They don't have any record when he is access the server. But this everything will be comes in place when PAM is implemented. So they are little hesitant to implement this, but the CISOs are mandating to implement a PAM because of the organization benefit. So if you don't implement PAM, you don't have the visibility of how many privilege accounts are there, who has the access of what,
Correct.
and when you are accessing to the server. So to start with, we recommend like just implement a PAM and just have a centralized vault where all your privilege accounts are there,
Okay.
and you can store all the privilege passwords. You can do rotate the password with the company policy or organization policy, strong password policy, and share the password to specific users. So DB administrators will have access only to the database passwords. Network admins will have only access to network passwords. And you can also have an auditing mechanism where whenever you want to connect to a network device and rotate the configuration or just view the configuration, you go through a PAM. So this way you can get the audit, and you can also identify the orphaned accounts, non-used accounts.
Orphaned or
It's
abandoned?
it's a unused account kind of. There is an administrator account they have created for a people, and he left the company, but this account will not be get deleted. So the AD account alone will get deleted. The service account will not get deleted, which is used by that person.
Oh, why that? Like if it's
So
getting.
they don't know whether this service account is used by somewhere else or not. So you need to discover all the service accounts which is running in the server where the service is running. So this service will be taken care by someone else, but you need to know that. Some people will implement a service and they will move to some other department or some other location, and someone other will take care of it. They will create some other service account, use it, but the first created service account will be orphaned.
Okay.
So you need to identify the list of service accounts or the list of privilege accounts that are really used in the organization.
Okay.
So you need to remove those orphaned accounts, unused accounts. That's the first step. Then you can go for auditing, segregation of duty, then just in time privilege, then zero standing privilege,
Makes sense. Yeah.
then automation. Those things. It's a maturity of PAM.
Yes, yes, yeah. So at its base, PAM is basically a list of privileged accounts.
Yes.
That's pretty much what PAM is.
Yes, that's a starting point. You need to start to know the list of privilege accounts in your organization,
Okay.
and you need to know who are all has access to these privilege accounts.
Okay. Okay.
Then you can step by step go for auditing, sharing, and just in time access.
Right.
Without having the password, you can log into the session.
Okay.
If you want to take a remote session, you no need to enter the passwords. You just click of a button, you should take care of.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we've seen PAM evolve from password vaults, okay, from sheets to password
Password vault.
vaults to becoming like a full product where organization can actually store their accounts, and then the evolution of AI and how it integrated itself within all of these products. So what do you think is the next big leap?
Yeah, I would say like this human identities will get shrink, and
Okay.
maybe the machine identities will grow. So more and more automation, threat intelligence, more automations will come. AI agents will come. So so all the PAM actions will be delivered by AI agents itself.
Oh, okay.
So say for example, any IT administrators, I need to log into a critical service. I need to do some work. This work can be automated using a bot. So this bot can be give privileges, can do the bot. So I can set a workflow system or orchestrations, whatever I need to do. I need to just review. That's it. So the human element will come down
Drastically down, yeah.
compared to the non-human identities. So, but the management part, the least privilege part for non-human identities will also explode. So you need to have. I explained about that AI case, the privilege case. Privilege of non-human identity should be just enough privilege or zero standing privilege of. Uh, Say for example, if any agent is deploying a patch.
Yeah.
So during a deployment of patch alone, it need privilege. No need to have a privilege across all time. So maybe it can communicate to PAM and get the privileges, required privileges. It's not only agent; it's any AI agent or any bot or and not only in the infrastructure side, it should be in the verticals, other verticals like OT systems, IoT systems, or vehicles, medical equipments.
Okay, done. So, don't you think AI can become malicious if, let's say, they are having the privilege to deploy patches?
Yeah, it could be. So
Okay.
it could be. So it depends on the see how the input you are given to the AI agent.
Right.
So you can also craft the input. You can also do tampering in the middle of action.
Yeah, yeah.
So it, it
You
could be
never know
possible.
what.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we need to mitigate those things as well. We need to take care of those.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, what is your advice? Like, we've come to the end of the questions I had, but of course, if there are people who want to ask questions, we'll definitely ask you that in the next episode that we call you for. So, what do you think is one piece of advice that you would give any organization who is probably early in their stage of development? And if they want to really implement PAM since the beginning, so what would you really advise
Yeah,
them
I
to
would
do?
advise go step by step. First, implement a PAM and just discover all your privilege accounts
Okay.
and just know how many privilege accounts are there. And you just get to know what are all the privileges associated to that account and what are the users, who are the users who are using that privilege. Is that really necessary? And you can do the segregation of duties
Okay.
and you can have a complete auditing. So, the first step, you can have this visibility,
Okay.
then you can step by step go like just in time or share only relevant permission, least privileges and just in time privilege. And then you can go for zero standing privileges.
Okay. Okay.
And one step you can do the privilege task automation. So you just eliminate the number of IT admins. You can do the privilege in an automated fashion.
Yeah. So everything starts from
Yes.
the list of privileged
Yes.
accounts, and then it's just steps from there. Done. Perfect. So it was lovely having you on the show, Ramanathan. And I got my answers, but I'm sure if I meet you after, let's say, a month or two, technology would have advanced and so would have my questions as well, and looking forward to have you on another show. Yeah, that's my time, and thank you so much once again. I hope you enjoyed the show, and looking forward to any of your questions, so you can comment and let us know, and we'll make sure that Ramanathan answers your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony, for having
Thank
me in
you.
the show. Thank you.
Yes.